I've started this video a little bit late. I've already started the project. I wasn't going to record it, but the more I do on the bike and the more I look around, I realise there's not many videos on this bike. So I'm no expert, but basically I bought the bike, rode it around a bit. I'll show you some clips of me riding it around.
Mind your nuts. Was that a nut breaker?
That was fucking cool. Seemed great, super lightweight, old school, but the the battery didn't charge, or it stopped. Every time I stopped it wouldn't start again. So the first thing I did was, I thought the stator had broken, but turns out that the little rectifier here, I think it still works, but there was a little spade inside there where the water got inside there and completely corroded it. So I've reattached it, tested it, seems okay, seems like it's charging. So that was the first problem, but when I took the tank off and started looking underneath there, I realised it was in pretty poor condition. Well, it was in bad enough condition for me to bother to take it all apart and basically renovate it. I wouldn't say this is going to be like a total like one for one, keep it original, because I don't want to spend that much money on it, but in terms of going through it, clean off all the rust, new bolts, and painting it, checking everything, checking the suspension still works, going through the whole bike basically. So I'm going to make a video of me going through the whole bike, from the brakes to the suspension. The handlebars are bent, which I didn't realise when I first got it, but they're all twisted. So these are original bars. I bought an aftermarket one underneath there, so I'm probably going to fit that on there. And there's a few little weird bits. I mean, it's a 25-year-old bike, and it's got little switches where the guy would isolate the headlight and then the heated grips it had on there. I don't know if that's because the stator hasn't got enough juice to run the heated grips and the light, or what the idea of that was, but I don't know if I'm going to keep it yet or get rid of it. It's pretty cool. But yeah, there's loads and loads of bits. So I've taken the back end off, which I didn't record, and as you can see, I think focuses. Right. There's loads of bolts that are sheared off, completely corroded here and here, so I've got to somehow heat them up, get them out. That's what I'm going to do today, clean all of this rust off with a multi-tool. I can't find this paint for the minute, so all I'm going to do is paint this all black. I think a guy did that before. And then if I can somehow match this paint or find out what it is, it's really difficult because it keeps saying it's an unusual sort of purpley blue. So yeah, there's loads of things on this bike that even when I took this off that had gone wrong. So I'm going to try and record all of those bits in sequence and how I've gone about it, and if it's useful to anyone, then let me know. But also, just, you know, taking a bike that's not been loved and spend a bit of time cleaning and checking and making sure the cables, like little things like this cable here, you know, look at that. it's all sheared off. So you wouldn't know that unless you take the tank off. Super simple bike, but it's gonna need some time and effort. And it's gonna be my project this winter, so first one. So stay tuned. Come in. Yeah, a little bit of heat, and just managed to get it out. A little bit of heat, a little bit of WD-40, that and that. I mean, I'm not got the best tools, but out it popped. Perfect. Now I've got this one to do, which is going to be a lot more difficult. It's a lot bigger. And this one to do as well. And I've just discovered that someone's helicoiled that at some point, so that might be my last resort. Just trying to square this off so I can get the drill on it, pinch it, and then I'm going to put some WD-40 around it and some heat, and then try and set the drill to hammer and try and vibrate this out. Works on this one, hopefully it'll work on this one. Success, it worked. A little bit of heat, and out it come. I'm going to run a something through there just to clean the threads up, but yeah, looking good. So that one's obviously crudded up, but yeah, loads of work to do. So I'm just going to run this tap through there, just clean out the threads, so it's come through there nicely. This one's going to be a bit more difficult, slightly bigger. I've got this removal tool here that I've added. I'm not confident this is going to work, so I'll try and heat this up and get it out, maybe put some vibrations through with the drill. If not, I'll try and re-tap it. That doesn't work. I can always put a bolt on the other side. Yeah, see how this goes. Yeah, I had to drill that one out, re-tap it with this. Seems to have worked. I think what I'll do, doesn't feel great, is stick a bolt at the back there just to hold it in place. But the next task is to clean up all this rust, and then I'll stop there. Just polish the as much off as I can with this. Revealed a lot of the original paint. Kind of looks cool being kind of rusty, kind of rat-like. I mean, to do it properly you'd have to take the frame off and spray it, and it's almost impossible to find out what colour that is. So I have found one supplier, so I'll see what that's like when that turns up, but I might just keep it rusty. Just clean it all up, and then put some rust stuff on it, rebuild it, then all the bolts come apart, it's all well oiled, and then just ride it. Right, this is the tail light. I looked online, they're like 100 and something quid, so absolutely no way of buying another one. So what's happened is I've tried to take it off of here, undone the bolts at the back, and obviously they've sheared because they're rusted. So what I've done is, these were stuck in here, I think they were moulded in. I've just heated the tips up with a blow I've heated the tips up with a blowtorch, and pulled them out. So what I'm going to do is I've just tapped in the plastic with this to give it some thread. I've just threaded these in with an Allen key. Put some nut tight on there. I'll cut these tips off in a minute, and then I'm going to rebuild this light. And some of it's really rusted, so I'm going to see if I can clean it up. If not, I'm going to have to make a new plate for that. But save me £150. So I rebuilt all the light and bought some new bolts. Completely taken all the rust off, done all the plates. It's come out quite well. And it works. So my next job is these indicators, which cost a fortune just for this bit. It's like £40. The right side came off, okay, the left side didn't. So you can see they've sort of welded a bolt there. That one survived. But what these also do is hold on the handguards as well. So I've been looking at what I'm going to probably do is angle grind the bolt off, back and front, and just try and run a bolt through. Try and just get that off of there, though it's been welded at the factory. If I can run a new bolt for it, just replace it with a standard bolt. Something in here, see if I can get it working. Seems to have worked. I've angle grinded it off. This is not perfect placement of the hole, to be honest, but it's kind of worked. Should work. Saves replacing it. Now I just need to find a bolt for it and a new nut. Here's the exhaust. Almost looks brand new. I've cleaned up the back end as much as I can, put some rust stop on it. I can't match this colour. I find it difficult to find this colour. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to paint this black for now, because a lot of it you don't see underneath the plastics. And I'm just going to use, I'm not even going to spray it, I'm just going to hand paint it, because it's so awkward to get into all those parts, just to set it up, and then maybe I'll strip the whole bike down and respray at some point. But just using this hammerite, which goes straight onto metal, which doesn't look too bad actually. That's all the rear end painted, just giving it 2 coats. I might come back to it, rub it all back down and respray the whole frame at some point rather. But it's just going to stop all the rust. I've just sort of stopped it there. There's a load of rust there. At least I can rebuild the back end. But the problem I've got next is I've had a look in the airbox and it is rusty. I don't think it's too bad, but it's all rusty. And then I've taken out the air filter, which obviously don't want any of this going to the engine. And it looks like this. So I need to tidy that up, do something with it. Right, I've discovered, or I think I've discovered, that I had trouble charging the battery. This cable here, though connected to that point there, I think it's meant to be connected to the starter motor there. Definitely goes through there. It sits like that. It sort of wants to sit either on that mount there or there. I just don't think it was connected for some reason. But I really need to get that exhaust pipe off to really get access to everything, which I didn't look forward to doing because it's really rusted up. So I'm going to heat it up with this and see if I can break those bolts, but this is probably going to be the most difficult bolts to open on the whole bike. Well, it came out, but out the engine, so I'm probably have to get some new bolts, but I'm pretty happy with that because at least it came out. They are really corroded, so cool. Back end's all on, rebuilt, all went back together well. Looks okay. Working my way towards the front. I've just cleaned the rust off, put some rust stop on it. Might have to paint some of this because it's so rusty, and then at a later date just respray this whole frame. Just gonna have to use this hammer out again. Now I've got to take all this front end off and check that because I know some of the electrics is loose. This is bent. And then I need to look at the suspension because I was told it's leaking. Right, my next job is, I think these are weeping, but they look like they are. So I need to take the front wheel off, drop these out, clean all of this up, and then check the seals, rebuild it, fill it up with fluid. I think someone's lowered it at some point, so I'll probably put it back. And then I need to sort out these wheels because they are rusted. That's going to be a big job. Taking the exhaust off, a total wreck. Bolts are completely seized. I'm actually luckily they came out the engine, so I'm just putting the studs in and get the exhaust back on. You have to take these mounts off to get the exhaust off, which is kind of annoying. But yeah, I'm just trying to clean these out and work out how to get these in without, I don't know how you tighten them in without tightening the bolt on, and you can't get them out. But anyway, yeah, that's my next job. I've had to take the shock apart because the bump is damaged. I can't find another one, so I've had to use some foam. Use 3 pieces, cut it different directions. Right, I don't know if it's going to work. It seems like it will do something, better than nothing. But I need to reinstall that again. Had to rip out half the bike to do it. Jack the bike up, take the link off, drop it through here, get all that off, and then I've got to rebuild all of this. Just sort the tank out. Just realised there's loads of damage on the tank, so I've got to touch that up. But it's getting there. Next job is to sort out these forks. They're completely rusted up inside, so I'm going to put new seals in it, new fluid on there, then I can start rebuilding the whole bike. So the exhaust is back on, new studs are on, the shock's back in, set that all up, put that back to stock settings. The exhaust, I've sprayed that, put that back on, looks brand new. What I need to do now is rebuild these, build the front end, do the electrics, check the electrics, and then test it. Need to re-oil the air filter, put these new boots on, and we are good to go. So new handlebars are on, hand guards, put some heat grips in there, just cheap ones. Put some grip tape on the top. These are the ones that go over the top with shrink wrap. It costs like £6. Mirrors, charger for the phone. Wired it all in here. Put some lithium grease, I think it's called, on all the electrical parts. Make sure it all works. Put the battery on, it cranks. So what I need to do now is do the air filter, rebuild these shocks. Haven't got parts yet. Rebuild the front and she's good to go. This tank isn't in great condition. I've just rubbed all the rust off, where I think all the water just sits in it. I was going to leave it, but I'm actually going to paint this underside, which you're not going to see, in black. leave obviously the original colour, but on one side it's completely been bashed up, so I need to match the colour, probably do it in the summer, but at the moment I've just added the closest colour I can find in white. I'll buff all this out, but yeah, I'm going to just paint this in Hammerite just to stop it from rusting. She's all back together, headlights back on, suspension's been done, gaiters are new brake pads, greased that all up, fixed this, re-tapped that, for some reason it was seized, phone charger on, there's no fuel in there at the moment, tank reattached, need to do something about the paintwork there, yeah, she's looking good. Good to go. Let's go and get some decent fuel from the petrol garage and then fire her up and see what she does.
Hang on, wait for us. Maybe you dropped it. I don't know, maybe. I assumed you'd be right behind me.
Oh, there he is.
Hang on, wait. Oh.